Hello and welcome to my YouTube video, Tales from the Dark. I'll be telling 3 stories in this video. The original story links will be in the description. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Thanks. Let's get started. Story number 1. I need a drink. Being a struggling alcoholic is hard, especially when you're hiding it. I am good at hiding it from my wife, but alcoholism is like masturbation. It feels good right now, but at the end of the day, you are just fucking yourself. So when my wife went to sleep, I got my bottle from the hiding spot and chugged it down, ready to obliterate myself for the evening. I just needed a place to toss the empty bottle so my wife wouldn't find it. I threw the bottle into my neighbor's trash can. Later that evening, I heard screaming from next door. "It isn't mine," a man said. "You swore to me you changed, Harold," a woman yelled. "I swear it isn't mine," he yelled back. Then all I heard was a gunshot and sirens. I still have not drank since that night. Story number 2. Too ugly to love. Being born ugly is the worst thing that can happen to someone. That was my mentality growing up. My ugliness was no secret to me. With my hopelessly chubby body and acne-ridden face, there was no way it could be. Girls never showed any interest in me, and I received every insult in the book. People loved telling me how my ugliness was my own fault, something I could fix with effort. A semester into college, I was just about ready to end it all when a mutual friend took pity on me. He informed me that if I had the money, there was a place I could go to not die a virgin. Following his instructions, I ended up at a brothel on the outskirts of town. Inside, I met the cagey leader of the operation, Dimitri, who snickered at my story before leading me underground. There, in a small, well-furnished room, was Anna, beautiful with fiery hair and pale skin. Seeing me enter, she gave me a soft smile and immediately began undressing. Our first time together was euphoric, but shameful. It had become obvious what this was, human trafficking. These women were being held here against their will, yet, as awful as I felt, I knew that I couldn't stop. This pathetic love was the best I'd ever have. Over the next few months, I continued seeing Anna. She was kind and attentive. Even though her eyes betrayed her sadness, our moments together made me feel incredible, and without realizing it, my lifestyle began to change. I joined a gym, worked hard, and eventually turned my baby fat into muscle. Money was invested in conquering my acne, and later puberty took care of the rest. For the first time ever, I felt handsome. Women were noticing me and I had the chance at a real relationship. Feeling guilty, I decided to return to the brothel one last time to say goodbye to Anna and apologize for exploiting her. Like always, Dimitri escorted me downstairs. However, to my surprise, the room he led me to this time was empty. "Where's Anna? This isn't her room." "Of course it isn't," Dimitri replied coolly. "It's yours." My blood ran cold. Before I could move, 2 guards appeared behind me and shoved me into the room. "Chin up, Liam," leered Dimitri from outside. "You are not too ugly to love anymore. You are just too pretty to leave." Story number 3. Mime time. You know what sucks? Being the best in the world at something and it being utterly unmarketable. I'm an incredible mime. I can fake climbing ropes like you wouldn't believe it, but mimes don't rake in cash like they used to. And busking is hard. On a good day, I might take in $30. No matter how many walls I'd walk into or jump ropes I'd skip, my act just wasn't making money. I was going to lose my apartment. I'm crediting my desperation for me not noticing how creepy the man was. I guess when your diet mostly consists of 99-cent tacos, you don't think twice when you get offered magic gloves. But he said they'd make me put on the most memorable show ever, so I took them. The next day, I set down my money bucket, slipped on the gloves, hit the play button on my stereo, and got to work. I started with the rope climb, then something amazing happened. As I closed my hands around the invisible rope, my fingers latched onto something solid. I could feel the rope in my hands. I gave it a strong pull, my feet came off the ground and I hung there, dangling from a rope that wasn't there. It was incredible, and I was rewarded by the sound of clapping and applause. A small crowd had gathered, staring in wonder as I hung in midair. So I continued my show. I sat on chairs that weren't there, leaned impossibly against walls. I even rode an invisible bike through the ever-increasing crowd to uproarious cheers, and my money bucket was filled with cash. And then I tried the classic, the invisible box. I crouched and stretched out my hands, feeling the walls around me. I faked hysterics as I pounded on the walls. The crowd loved it. I gave a flourish of my hands to the crowd and got up from my crouch, and my head slammed into the ceiling. I stifled a yell and the crowd laughed. I put my hands out and pushed on the invisible walls, but they wouldn't budge. I began to kick, pound, and slam myself against the walls of my invisible prison, but nothing worked. I tried to take the gloves off, but it was like they were fused to my skin. I gave up the mime shtick and yelled for help, but my mouth produced no sound. Then the walls began moving inward. I tried to brace myself against them as the box grew smaller and smaller. The crowd cheered loudly as I pushed with all my might, trying to stop the wall's terrible advance until I could feel it on every side, squeezing in on me like a vice. And as my breath left me and my bones cracked, and as the jubilant laughter of the crowd turned to terrifying screams, I couldn't help but think that this was definitely my most memorable show ever.